TRW by the Edge of the Sword series. Heroes and Kings, Battle of Valles Dunes, 1047. A Franco-Norman army here, the pale blue army, and the white army is a group of rebel barons led by Guy right here. Hallmarks of this series, and there are a few great ones. One, I guess there's 30-something battles, at least I think 39, at least 39 separate battles in the series. So if you're interested in this high Middle Ages era, there's a lot of gaming to be had here with the same system. Let's see, the rules are very, very fine-tuned. Again, I think I always find my rules questions answered, addressed, at least. It's also solid middleweight design. I still hesitate to call it, simple, basic, or low complexity, because I think I think too many gamers who are not familiar with the system would be maybe a bit frustrated if they came into this system thinking that it was a kind of a real basic design. I just don't think it's that. Again, I think it's solid middleweight complexity, solid middleweight rules detail. Yeah, okay. So, a few things to mention. These two blue die here have to do with the scenario special rule with respect to this formation over here on the edge of the board. That commander, I guess it's Raoul, his formation over here, basically well, actually, let me get the detail. I looked at the CH units that were routed, which I'll mention again in a second, but let me get the whole rule altogether. So what it is, yeah, each time a CH unit, not each turn, not each phase, but each time a CH unit, again, CH is a knight, unit of the Rebel Baron Army, so the white army here, so the opposite of Raoul there, becomes discouraged or routs. The Franco-Norman player rolls a d6. And basically, if the result is even, then Raoul is going to come into play, come into the action. I guess he's in play before, but he will, he changes to in the battle, or he becomes engaged. He gets engaged. If it's an odd number, Raoul de Taizon remains outside the battle. So that is the scenario special rule. I saw that happen twice. It might have actually happened more than that, but I know this unit back here, they were routed. They rallied to discouraged level state. But then I rolled a 1, which of course being odd means that Raoul stays out of the battle. And then this unit did the exact same thing. That CH unit routed, and it rallied back up to discouraged. But then I rolled a 5, being odd. Raoul stays out, so Raoul is still out of the battle. That's what that was all about. Over here, this unit, this HA unit, that's dismounted men-at-arms. Let me make sure that's what I remember HA is. Let me make sure I got that right. HA is men-at-arms or sergeants. I wonder if HA can be mounted. I don't remember mounted HA units, but anyways, I'll just call them men-at-arms. I guess I should just call them men-at-arms. I don't know whether somewhere in the series you have mounted HA. I always think of them as dismounted, but I'll just call them men-at-arms. So what happened was, for the rally phase, they did not rally. They failed their rally, which means that when I was all done with those checks, which I guess is significant, the order, because you really should finish all those checks. Then all remaining routed, they were back here, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, they must have been here. Wait. No, I can't remember. Anyways, they were somewhere up here. When they fail their rally, they will still be routed. So then when you're all done with those checks, like these guys successfully rallied, so they went from routed to discouraged. When you're done, any remaining routed units, which was only this one that I found, that I saw, they do a route move. And a route move is a full movement. So that's what took them off the board. Well, that's what it was. Yeah, they were here, but going down a level is not adding. So they went 1, 2, 3, and then I guess they went off the board. I'm just going to leave it that way. I didn't see anything to the contrary. So I guess they're the first unit to flee the battle permanently, I should say. All right. So now we have various rules. Before I get started with turn 2 here, I'm going to be looking at tracing line of command, because I do think I'm going to be marking some units out of command. I think I'm going to be marking some units out of command. I'm going to be looking for, I cannot remember if this series strings command, i.e. if these units were here, can you trace to one unit being in command and then an adjacent unit which is beyond the command radius of the leader but is adjacent to a unit that is in command. Is he in command? I can't remember if this unit strings. I think of stringing as from the Royalists and Roundheads series. I'll double check that. And then the question is, what do I do with all these? I have a lot of fatigued units. You know, he's fatigued, fatigued, a lot of fatigued units. So I believe I'm going to be looking for opportunities to au repos, or attempt to rest. And then I think those are the main things I'm going to be looking for. Getting into order here. Great system. We'll start turn 2. So all about command. First of all, army commanders can command not only the units of their formation or banner, but also all units within their command radius of their army. So here is where the Franco-Norman army, not having an army commander, makes a big difference. So William here will always only command his banner over here. Henry will always command just his banner here, and Raoul will only command his banner. And there'll be no overlap at all whatsoever under any circumstances. On the rebel Baron army side, it's different. So Guy is designated by the scenario as the army commander and the center commander. So he has his own formation there per a normal leader, but also as the army commander, he has a command span of 2, or command radius of 2. He can also command these 2 units. These 2 units. Well, I guess also these units, but I'm thinking about these 2 units because they're within his command radius. And that does mean that, if I understand it correctly, that does mean that these units would activate twice in the turn. They can activate once with the army commander Guy, as well as once with their formation leader. And I think that exploiting that is probably an important aspect of the design of the game. Let's see. Likewise, an army commander can stack with a unit of any can stack with any unit in the army. So Guy here, even though he's stacked with his own CH unit there, he could stack with this unit over here, or this unit over here, or so forth. Alright, so we are talking about a command check now, which is the start of the turn sequence. Army commanders are considered as ordinary leaders of their banner, so I'm tracing command here. They decide only to stat. That's interesting. So army commanders cannot. Oh, that's fairly significant. So even though they can command units within their command span, they can't. Right, they can't put. They don't make out of command units in command by themselves. Okay. So this is a dual or joint phase, this command check. Both sides. So I'm pretty sure I have some out of command units. So we're using the command radius of the leader. Units that are not within command radius are out of command for the remainder of the game turn. They're marked with the out of command marker. Yeah, so I guess there is no stringing. That's interesting. So 2, 3. So I guess both of these guys here are out of command. And what? It's not that I have any shortage of markers for the series. Maybe I will dig out. Didn't realize I would be that short. These guys are out of command. Let's trace the rest of these guys. They're in command. He has a, okay, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I guess. Tracing command. I guess there should be more on tracing command. Maybe. Okay, command in general. Okay, so there's more on command. Whole rules chapter 7 is on command. Okay, command in general. Command of units. A commander is in command for the entire turn. We already talked about that during the command check phase, which is where we're at, located within the command radius of the leader. So how do you trace it? There's no more than 4 hexes between. Okay. This radius is never affected. There we go. This radius is never affected by the presence of enemy units or by any type of terrain. So it's radio, so to speak. Okay, that helps. So 1, 2, 3. So this tracing command cannot be blocked, basically. That's interesting. Or by any type of terrain. So that means that a leader is on one side of a river, even a major river, even a lake, they're still commanding the units on the other side. All right, so these guys are in command from their leader, or in command of their leader. Here's Renuf. So he has a command radius of 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so, oh wait, back here, Henry. Oh, Henry has 5, he's fine. Guillaume, he has 5, he's okay. Okay, so it is just those two. So we have determined our out of command units. Let's see. Okay. Might as well talk about these out of command units since I'm going to get to them, right? A unit that is out of command can't undertake the actions permitted to a unit that is in command, even if it is within the command radius of the army commander. Talked about that before. An army commander. So basically, an army commander cannot put an out of command unit into command ever under any circumstance. However, in the latter case, it can undertake a second time those actions permitted to out of command units. Okay, so they can still be activated, so to speak, from the army commander, but they still act as an out of command unit. So out of command units, during the activation of a leader of an out of command unit, can do one of the following: move up to half its movement allowance rounded up toward the leader of its banner, not the army commander, unless the unit belongs to his banner, obviously. Not move at all. A unit that is out of command can't, so they're not required to move, but they may move up to half their movement allowance rounded up towards their banner leader. A unit that is out of command can't fire or initiate melee, but they do execute defensive fire if attacked, and they can defend normally. Okay. All right, so I think that is the... Oh, wait, no. The other part of the command phase is that we want to... We want to talk about the Odapo. Each player places Odapo markers on units that he hopes to allow to rest during that turn. See 11, 12. Fatigue. Under fatigue, we talk about Odapo, which is resting unit. To be placed Odapo, unit can be in command or out of command. Doesn't matter though, because these guys are adjacent to enemy. To rest a unit, the player places an Odapo marker on it at the beginning of the turn during phase A. That's where we're at. A player can place as many units as he wishes of Odapo during the same turn. He can place discouraged units Odapo, but not routed units. They must be first rallied. That makes perfect sense because they're going to have to route move anyways. In order for a unit to regain its fresh status, it must remain Odapo for an entire game turn. So to do this. But what's interesting is that you don't have to do this. So maybe I'm not going to do Odapo with this unit because I want to move him up and make sure that they regain command there. But this unit can... Oh, actually they're not even fatigued. They are discouraged but not fatigued. Okay. Must not be adjacent to an enemy unit. Okay, makes sense. I thought I was going to have... Well, alright, let's go to the other side. The HA unit there, they definitely want to go Odapo. Let's see, who else? Let's see. They're adjacent to the enemy, they're adjacent. Huh. And they're adjacent. So actually, that is it. So I'm going to change this. Instead, I am going to have them go Odapo. But, let's see which one would be first. I guess they would go like that. I am going to have them go Odapo, and I'm going to have these out of command units. I'm going to have them pull back a little bit so they get in command. Since they can move up to half their movement allowance rounded up towards their banner leader. Okay. They're both, yes they are. Okay, so that is Odapo, that's what we're talking about. Now we go to artillery and archer phase. I definitely going to look for some archer fire here, but we go in order. The attacking player, I think it's the Franco-Norman army, right? They can execute their fire. Oh, it's separate. Artillery does fire before archers, but we don't have artillery in this game, so we don't have to worry about that. But the defending player executes archer fire, then the attacking player. So I do want to quickly double check, but I do think it's the Franco-Norman army. It's the attacker. Franco-Norman army. So we do the defender first. So we check for the rebel army's archer fire. Here we have an archer unit, but I think that higher terrain is going to block him from firing on that unit. Oh, so he doesn't really have a shot. Now, not adjacent to enemy units. See, they're adjacent. Oh, all right, so the defenders don't have any. So go to the attackers. Here's an archer unit who can definitely fire on that unit. That unit cannot see him. We talked about that before. Yeah. So that's all right. So we have one archer fire over there. Okay. He is up one level. For fire, that's nothing. Okay, so roll my fire right away. See how close I am. 0. Yeah, that's not going to do anything. That's just not going to do anything. But it would have been -1 because it's only a 2-strength unit. The target is it's an MI unit. So that doesn't matter. Range is 2. Yeah, that's it. So definitely very unsuccessful fire.